The Duke and Duchess of Sussex will no longer be working members of the royal family. That means they'll no longer be given the title of Their Royal Highness and won't be funded by the public.
The Duke of York, Andrew, is removed from all titles and duties for his links to the Jeffrey Epstein matter.
The Duke and Duchess of Sussex will no longer be working members of the royal family. That means they'll no longer be given the title of Their Royal Highness and won't be funded by the public. For centuries, the British monarchy has been a symbol of tradition, stability, and strict rules. However, beneath the surface of crowns and ceremonies, tensions have bubbled under, secrets have lingered, and decisions made in private could change the very foundation of the institution. People expected the royal family to follow its usual path. King Charles ruling with quiet determination. Prince William waiting to take over and the rest of the family playing their roles. But on a cool autumn evening in 2025, something changed at Buckingham Palace. Scandals from the past that many thought were forgotten began to resurface. It started quietly. The public was used to hearing occasional whispers about past controversies. But this time, the atmosphere felt more serious. King Charles, now in his late 70s, faced health concerns and increasing public scrutiny during his reign. He had always been careful with his words to protect the monarchy's image. Yet, sources close to the palace revealed that he was dealing with new revelations that could seriously damage the crown's reputation. Emails and documents from the past linked some family members to a famous financial scandal that had shocked the world years earlier. The Jeffrey Epstein case, a complicated web of connections and trust issues, had already harmed reputations internationally. In Britain, it led to Prince Andrew stepping back from public life in 2022, losing his military titles and patronages. But in 2025, new emails released from Epstein's estate raised even more questions, showing connections further than previously thought. Andrew, once the Duke of York, faced renewed scrutiny. His denials now sounded weak in the face of fresh evidence. Surprisingly, attention also turned to Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex. Rumours had circulated for years about her life before marrying into the royal family, her climb through the acting world and her connections in high-profile circles. Some tabloids hinted at links to Epstein's circle through mutual acquaintances. Although Meghan had always dismissed these claims as rumours, the palace's recent investigation suggested there was more to the story. They called it a grave breach of trust, similar to Andrew's situation. King Charles faced a tough choice. The monarchy's survival relied on having integrity, especially as public faith was declining. Polls showed younger people questioning the monarchy's relevance with louder calls for reform in Commonwealth countries. The king realized he had to act quickly. He couldn't let the past jeopardize the future. So, he planned an announcement that would shock the world and change the power dynamics within the family. What would he say? How would it change everything? The stage was set for a historic moment. The announcement, King Charles addresses the nation. As the day approached, Buckingham Palace buzzed with tension. Advisors worked in back rooms, perfecting every word as if it were a script for a big performance. Outside, London's fog rolled in thicker than usual, adding to the mystery. Charles prepared his speech, knowing it would divide the country, but could help stabilize the throne. This was about more than past mistakes. It was about presenting William and Catherine as the new face of the royals, representing hope and decency. But first, the uncomfortable truth had to be revealed. On November 10, 2025, the sun set low over London, casting long shadows on the crowds gathered outside the palace. News had leaked. King Charles was going to speak live, and excitement was high. The global press rushed for the best view, cameras snapping away. Inside, the atmosphere was tense. Charles, dressed in a sharp but subdued suit, reviewed his notes one last time. Camilla stood beside him, her expression calm and supportive. He stepped out and the crowd fell silent as he approached the microphone. His voice was steady but heavy with the weight of the moment. "My fellow Brits," he began. "The Crown has always strived for duty and decency. Today, we must face some challenges to that." He took a quick breath and continued. "Prince Andrew has lost all titles and roles because of his ties to Epstein. The Duchess of Sussex faces the same fate for betraying our trust. The future lies with William and Catherine, clean, strong, and forward-looking. You could hear the crowd's collective gasp. Phones lit up everywhere as news spread rapidly across social media. Andrew, already living away from royal life at Royal Lodge, was now completely cut off. But mentioning Meghan set off a firestorm. She and Harry had stepped back from royal duties years ago, building a new life in California. However, the palace connected her to Epstein through shady ties in Hollywood, which they deemed serious enough to warrant action. Reactions came quickly. Supporters praised Charles for taking a bold step towards rebuilding trust in the monarchy. Critics accused him of scapegoating. Why reveal this now? Palace insiders later suggested it was linked to the November 2025 release of thousands of Epstein-related emails which named Andrew repeatedly and hinted at Meghan's past connections to places like Soho House. Charles kept his speech vague but clear. It was time for a major reset. He aimed to showcase William and Catherine as the future of a more accountable monarchy. William, just off camera, felt the pressure while Catherine remained poised. This speech was not fluff. It aimed to clear out the family's past mistakes and open a new chapter. As Charles returned inside, the crowd's whispers grew louder. The world was left debating the fallout. Would Andrew respond? How would Meghan react? How would this change the royal family? Prince Andrew's fall from fallen's hero to exile. Prince Andrew's fall from grace has been a long time coming. He was born in 1960, the Queen's second son, and quickly became a Navy hero during the Falklands War. For a while, he enjoyed public admiration. However, over time, his associations raised concerns, especially his connection to Jeffrey Epstein, which began in the 2010s. Photos of Andrew at Epstein's homes, and stories about their friendship surfaced. By 2022, Andrew withdrew from public events, gave up military titles, and stepped down from charity roles. The scandal lingered, especially after a 2025 release of over 20,000 pages of emails from the Epstein estate, which showed Andrew discussing business ideas and social meetings far beyond what he had admitted. This painted him as someone who prioritized friends over royal duties. King Charles, who had quietly supported Andrew for years, could no longer ignore the fallout. Family discussions became heated with Prince William pushing for decisive action. Andrew's claims of innocence lost credibility amid settlements with Epstein's victims and ongoing legal issues. The outcome was clear. He lost his titles and became simply Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. He was removed from the Royal Lodge and stopped receiving official invitations. The public, tired of royal scandals, mostly agreed it was overdue. Andrew retreated into a quieter life, highlighting the risks for the monarchy when one member misbehaves. Meghan's journey to royalty has been filled with challenges and clashes that didn't sit well with royal traditions. Born in 1981 in Los Angeles, she grew up with a black mother and a white father. She attended prestigious schools and later became known for her role in the TV show Suits. However, her past has come under scrutiny since her engagement to Harry in 2017. Tabloids focused on her first marriage to Trevor Anglesen and on her complex relationships with her father Thomas and half-sister Samantha. There are suggestions of a connection to Epstein through shared social circles, but there is no substantial evidence. After stepping back from royal duties in 2020, Meghan and Harry sought new opportunities, including deals with Netflix and her podcast Archetypes. However, old issues resurfaced with reports in 2025 about bullying claims and a toxic work environment. Family tensions grew with her father claiming he was cut off and Samantha suing Meghan, calling her a social climber. When news broke of Meghan's struggles, it became clear her lifestyle clashed with royal values. Meghan responded from California, denying everything and claiming it was a smear campaign. However, the situation highlighted her outsider status and illustrated the tension between her ambitions and the royal family's traditions. This outcome serves as a reminder that big dreams can collide with established norms. William and Catherine, the new pillars of grace and morality. Catherine, the Princess of Wales, brings a calm and steady presence to the royal family. Born in 1982 to an average family in Buckinghamshire, she values education and family. Her travels during a gap year in Italy and Chile helped shape her kind nature. She met William at St. Andrews University, and their love story has always been genuine and drama-free. After her wedding in 2011, Catherine balanced her family life with her royal duties, caring for her children, George, Charlotte, and Louis. She has championed important causes. She launched the Center for Early Childhood in 2021 to emphasize the importance of the early years, supports mental health through Heads Together, and advocates for charities such as Scouts and Action on Addiction. In 2018, she quietly donated her hair to Little Princess Trust for Children's Wigs, showing her genuine kindness without seeking attention. Her focus on compassion and family unity stands out. In 2024, she faced a health challenge with cancer, but handled it with strength. She returned to public life gracefully while recovering. Her leadership style contrasts sharply with Meghan's more public approach. While Meghan seeks the spotlight, Catherine quietly supports others. Prince William, next in line for the throne, is also committed to his role. Born in 1982, he has faced challenges early in life, including his parents' divorce and the loss of his mother, Diana. His experience as a search and rescue pilot and an air ambulance leader has given him a sense of responsibility and empathy. By 2025, he will take on new challenges. He has already spoken out on complex issues, including calling for Andrew's exit from royal duties. With Charles's speech passing leadership to him, they aim to modernize the monarchy. They want to become more open and focus on issues like homelessness and environmental projects through the Earthshot Prize. Together, Catherine and I plan a fresh start with strong values and a family focus. They are dedicated to earning public trust and combining traditional ideals with relevant concerns. This approach promises a more reliable and genuine royal family. Public reaction, polls, reform, and a monarchy reborn. That speech started a new vibe for the monarchy. William and Catherine showed strength after past scandals. They focused on honesty and taking responsibility, which is essential for earning trust. Today, polls after the speech told a clear story. A YouGov poll in October 2025 showed 59% support for the royals, with William at 76% and Catherine at 73%. By early November, an Ipsos poll showed family favorability had increased to 54%, with Charles rising to 53%. People appreciated the genuine modernization of the monarchy rather than just public relations efforts. Even younger people began to shift their views. A Statista survey from August 2025 found that 42% of 18 to 24-year-olds opposed the monarchy but began to warm to the royals for addressing the privileged bubble issue. They appreciated the real conversation about staying relevant. Commonwealth countries that had been considering cutting ties paused their plans. Australia and Jamaica had previously shown interest in becoming republics, but now they were paying close attention. Articles in The Guardian in February 2025 highlighted the push for decolonization, but some leaders saw Charles's actions as genuine reform, sparking positive discussions in the UK. Canada and the Bahamas showed improved sentiment, with polls suggesting they preferred shared values over outdated traditions. William and Catherine became known as the power couple leading this change. William's Earthshot Prize for climate initiatives gained attention, especially when he expressed the desire for a better world for his children. Catherine's focus on early childhood care through the Center for Early Childhood, combined with a 2024 mental health pilot program, expanded into 2025 in rural areas. In October 2025, they launched a national suicide prevention website that offers proactive support. Family Moments built trust. Their move to Forest Lodge in Windsor Great Park in November 2025, which they called their forever home, symbolized a return to normality. William shared personal stories about discussing Catherine's cancer battle with George, Charlotte, and Louis, highlighting their emotional strength. The monarchy is moving forward, focusing on values and integrity. There are challenges like financial issues and younger generations losing interest, as well as maintaining unity among Commonwealth nations. However, with William and Catherine in charge, the foundation feels strong enough to handle any challenges ahead. A crossroads for the crown, renewal or erosion. As the dust settles from that impactful speech, the British monarchy faces a crucial moment. It must decide between a new beginning and another round of trouble. King Charles's honest speech in November 2025. It opened old wounds for the Windsor family, but also laid out a path forward. Removing Prince Andrew with his past connections to Epstein shows a zero-tolerance approach to mistakes. Polls show that 91% of people now view him negatively, the lowest rating he's ever received. This serves as a reminder of how quickly trust can fade. Andrew's life in lockdown, a harsh reality check that no one is above consequences. Meghan's exit highlights a significant divide. Her career in Hollywood and activism clash with royal traditions. She worked hard to transition from actress to duchess. But the royal family questioned her actions. Reactions are mixed. Some support the cleanup to maintain appearances while others criticize selective justice, especially with ongoing scandals. Recent polls show support for the monarchy now below 50% and discussions about republicanism in the Commonwealth are increasing. William and Catherine, however, shine as hopeful figures. Their calm demeanor, strong morals, and genuine service represent a new way forward. William focuses on environmental issues and homelessness. While Catherine promotes children's mental health, their approach is all about empathy, making the monarchy more modern and relevant. Supporting them could lead to a more transparent era, one that prioritizes family and social impact over outdated traditions. But there are challenges ahead. Financial issues, constant media scrutiny, and winning over younger crowds on social media. This raises questions. Did Charles' bold move strengthen the monarchy, or did it just create more family tensions and alienate supporters? Can William and Catherine restore trust by blending tradition with new ideas? Or will past issues hold them back? How does the world view this situation now? What changes could keep the monarchy relevant in today's fast-paced world? The story of the royals is constantly evolving, keeping us engaged in debating.